Jared Polin, PhonosPhoto.com, and this is the Raw Edit of the Week number 59, and it's brought to you by, who? Allen's Camera? I think it's brought to you by allenscamera.com. Yeah, that's who it is. So anyway, before we start, here's the maroon shirts that people have been looking for, and there's a whole bunch that have already been ordered, which leaves not too many left in the stock room, but they are here, and I may place a bigger order now that people are liking them. So that's the maroon shirt. You can get it at phronosphoto.com/store. So here is the raw edit. I know that Adam has done his edit already in Lightroom 4. I just got home from Vegas and have not downloaded Lightroom 4 up to this point. So I'm going to stick with it in Lightroom 3. For those of you who were curious, we'll deconstruct this image right now. I'll show you how I shot it. This was over 2 years ago, or about 2 years ago. Here is the setup. We'll use this setup shot. So basically, I did it in a room. I had a beauty dish with one white lightning up here in the top right-hand corner. I had another white lightning back here shooting through the umbrella. Then I put up a soft, one of these multi-discs, you know, the ones that pop open, and basically I took everything out so it's shooting through there. It's giving me even softer light through here, and then I have a simple background just hanging there with a gray paper. So this is my main light. This is a little bit of kicker in there, and that is what we did. Yeah, you can just see that there's some other shots that I did here where the light's just soft and it comes in back here and it lights up the hair a little bit. And I had her look into it. So they're not all the greatest in the world. We were just playing around, and that's really deconstructing that image. Nothing too special, just simple light. Some of the things I would change, I would get another light up in here just to get another fill light up into the eye. But now it's my turn to edit this. What would I do? Well, we're going to go black and white. We're going to go color. But she has so much makeup on that I want to pull that back a little bit on the face, and then you know, I like doing high key type, high contrast, so that's what I want to see if I can pull off here in a quick edit. And then we're going to get to what Adam did. So a lot of times, you know, when you blow out the highlights like this and you pump it up, it gets rid of all that really bad looking extra makeup. And sometimes when you do too much contrast, you see what happens? Everything gets all weirded out in these highlight areas. So I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm not going to go this far past where I would like to go. I'm just going to start with my contrast there. Boom, boom. Could always pull back on the clarity slightly, and that gives it a glowy, yes, a glowy McGlowerson feel. Now, if I was to take this into Photoshop and want to spend more time, I would take this out. So just remember that. I would take this out in Photoshop, or maybe even crop it. Or just shoot it differently next time. So what are some things that we can do here? You have your different curves. You can go strong. I like the stronger feel, but I want to do something here to the face, to her face. I want to do some changing to that. Okay. Right here. I want to do this. Soften skin tone. I want to see where my overlay is. So I hit the O button, by the way. O, see, O gives you the overlay. You hit O on your keyboard, boom, the overlay comes back. So you can see where you're doing this and see if it's actually working. And this is just a quick thing going on here. This is good if you want to change up and do different sharpening. So let's see what it looks like when we soften some of the skin. Yes, there we go. How's that? That's interesting. Too much, too much, too much. Let's get rid of this. And actually, let's turn it off and see what we've got here. Big difference. Look at the difference. Let me zoom in on her face while we do this. Watch this. This is with it off. This is with it on. It softened it up quite a bit. You can see how much softer we did. And I learned this from Adam, just going in here and using this, and I clicked on soften skin, and that's what we're using. So that's just that. We softened that up, and I could even do it more. Flow was on 100%, so I had it going pretty good. Let's see, can we even soften more? So you can just watch it working, and it's going to make the eyes pop a little more. So that's all the time I'm going to spend on that part for now. I could spend even longer on there, but it really changes up the it really changes up the image, how much softer it is. It's so much better. I see some things here. I don't know what's going on there, if that's because of all the extra contrast. No, that's just stray makeup on her face. Her face. It's on her face. So I'm going to do this. Boom. We're going to get rid of some of that. Get rid of some of this. And there we go. Going back to full. And let's now come back here. Now let's work on the color. Pulling out some of the yellow because I think it's too much. Don't want to go too far with the magenta. Definitely don't want to go with the green tinge. I'm not a green tinge fan. So we got that. We got her eyes. They're looking good. Are they looking good? Something's sharp here. You can see it. They're looking good. Maybe let's do some of this. Let's see what else we have in here for some sharpness right in the eye. And I got that feather thing going. Paint it in here. There we go. Well, this eye's a little bit out of focus, so that shouldn't. It really won't affect anything there. But while we're in here, you can see the light right there in the eye. All right, so we got that gone. I'm liking this. I like the color. And let's surprise you guys with something else here and see if this works or doesn't work. It doesn't really need it. I mean, if I was to shoot it again, I would shoot it a little tighter. I mean, I think I did a couple of other shots. I'll just show you guys here. I didn't like my composition on those, but I do like the angle of this. And a slight crop could be in order if I just don't want to get too far away from... I don't want the edge taken away from the image too much. Meaning I don't want her hair too close to the edge. So I like that. I'll just throw a minimum crop in there just to mess with you guys for fun. This is a better composition, I think, so it's something I should do or learn from when I'm doing portraits, is that this would be better off this type of angle. I like this. I don't think there's saturation. Ooh, a little bit. A little bit of saturation. Vibrance looking good right there. Saturation, boom. Getting rid of that. Now I got to give props to Adam right now because I'm spending a little more time than I normally do on this stuff, but it's because I've been watching what he's doing and it's definitely necessary. It's definitely necessary to spend this extra time in here. So let me go down here and try one thing before I go into a black and white. I know this is a little longer, but I'm liking spending a little more time with this than I normally do. Let's see. Let's find that's sharpening, noise reduction, post-crop vignette. I don't want to do the white thing. That's with a little bit of post-crop vignette, just -11. Changing the midpoint up. Get some of this feather going. I'm liking it. I don't know what it's doing. Let's see. Off, on, off, on. We're going to use it to draw us into the inside. I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to call this number 1. Boom. Let's get to black and white and make this one quick. Boom. We're going to black and white. I was messing with this a long time ago. I was like, yeah, let's do something here with this. Let's go extremely high key and see what we got. Let's go with the fill light. Let's come in with the blacks, and I don't like it at all. So let's go back a little bit. Let's Control-Z it, Control-Z it, Control-Z it, Control-Z it. One more Control-Z, and that brings us back to where we were, because this could be a strong, beautiful black. We're already on strong contrast, or strong level, not levels, split tone curves. Yeah, I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to go over the top. I already know this, so don't yell at me for going over the top. This is just what, you know, going for a certain blown out high key effect. And I know the face is blown out. I know this already. So we're going to do that. It's going a little more. Going way over the top with this one, just to do it. And there we go. There we go. I want to play with the fill light a little more. And uber duper high key. And we're going to go with that. Starting to lose the eye a little bit in here. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to leave it at this just for SNGs. And there's number 2. So here we got number 1. Let's see. Do we like number 1? It's still a little warm, and that's still a little cold. It's still, I think this vibrance is killing it, making it too much. Let's just do 5 on the vibrance scale and go from there. And there we go. And that's it. That's number 1. Actually, I got to save it again as number 1 because I'm pulling back on the yellow slightly. We're call it 1A. 1A. Here's 2. Adam, your turn is up, and then we'll be back after Adam to tell you face-to-face what we think.
Adam Lerner, and welcome to this week's Raw Edit 59. And this week we have a lovely, lovely model shot by ours truly, Jared Polin, the Fro himself. You know, we got some nice studio lighting shot against, I'm guessing what a gray seamless. And really nice candidate for an edit. You know, right out of the camera, we got some really nice colors, some nice tones, some nice detail. But I want to give this much more of a high fashion-y look. I want to pump things up. I want to really kind of just add a little bit more oomph, a little more impact to this. She's got a fierce look, really like that, but I want to really kind of play up on that a little bit more. And just for the heck of it, I am in Lightroom 4, and we've got some new stuff in here. We've got this highlight and shadow detail in here. Whites and blacks are separated down over here. Really kind of cool stuff, okay? So again, I'm using the Lightroom 4 beta. It's a public beta. It's going to expire. I'm definitely going to be upgrading regardless, but I'm just excited to use it and use it for this week's Raw Edit. All right, so let's get right into this here. So I'm just going to pump the exposure up just a touch, masking things off over here just to see the overexposed areas. Don't mind it so much. And I'm going to up the blacks. Let's see. Wow, look at that. Look at how interesting that is. Oh, you know what? That's really cool what happens in there. Actually, you want to down the blacks. Ah, very interesting. Okay, and then I guess the whites, you could go up or down like that. Oh, that is really cool. That is very robust. In fact, I'm going to bring the exposure down, and I'm going to mess with these guys right here. Okay, something like that. And let's see what goes on with the shadows. Ooh, look at all that. You can bring out all that detail. That is wicked. And highlights? Oh man, this is super cool. Super, super cool. Clarity, let's go on to here for a little bit. And saturation, I'm just going to pop that down just a touch over there. Something like that. And actually, you know, let's see if we just soften her up a little bit with the clarity. You know, I kind of like that. That's really nice. Gives it much more of a little bit of a glow. Somewhere, let's just see. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring this down to about there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to use an adjustment brush. That's what I'm going to do. So let's go in, we'll hit the letter K. And wow, look at all this other stuff in here. Very, very cool. We've got the noise and the more, all kinds of cool things. So let us just go in, and I want to soften the skin over here. So I'm just going to kind of just do just a little, ooh, wow, look at that. So robust. Very nice. Just want to just give her a little bit more of a soft look. I'm going to use the overlay so I can just see what I'm doing here. And I'm doing this really generally. I mean, again, if this was something that I was going to deliver to a client, I would really, you know, take a lot of time. I would really be very careful about where I'm placing the brush. You know, really cognizant of those kinds of things. Just going to zoom in over here and just kind of, you know, just touch up a few different areas. Something like that. Okay, zooming out. All right, all right. You know, let's just close this up. There we go. That's really cool. Look at the before and after. You know, just gives her a little bit of a softer look, a little bit of a glow. I can even take this down just a notch over there. But you know, one thing we don't, well, you know, I don't even mind that so much. That's really, really super cool. All right, so now what I'd like to do is I would like to change the point curve to a medium contrast. Just, oh yeah, look at that right away. Wow, even let's see what strong does. Strong's maybe a little bit too intense for me. I'm going to just do something like that. I'm not going to do any split toning. I am going to do some sharpening. Let's go into her eye, and I'm just going to bring that up to about there. And we're just going to mask things off. And we're masking things off so that we sharpen edge detail and not texture detail. Let's just look at the before and look at the after. I mean, just such a nicer, softer look. You know, really, really, really sweet. Let's just do a couple more things. Yeah, so this is really starting to look good. And, you know, forgive me, I said moire. It's moire. And moire is basically that's what happens when you kind of get digital noise. I'm not going to really get into it too much right now, and I'm not really into noise reduction as a whole, but I'm sure, you know, I'm going to mess with it, you know, once I really get into editing, you know, more so with Lightroom 4. I want to just maybe just add a little bit of highlight priority vignetting. Let me see how that's going to do for me here. Let's just see. No, not really into that. I think I'm going to do away with that. What I'm really feeling is like this shoulder's a little hot. So I wonder if we just add like a gradient filter. You know, something like that. And let's just take down, maybe just take the exposure down just a notch. Okay, so we're going to just flip this around because we don't want to darken the top. We want to darken the bottom. And let me just bring this up over here. Something like that. Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely more in line with what I'm thinking. Just bring that down somewhere around there. Wow, that is definitely cooler. Let's just mess with that a little bit further. Bring that down. Just give a little more drama. You know what? I don't want to, though. I think I'm just going to leave that at about there. And let's close that. Yeah, I really like that a lot. I mean, let's look at the before. Let's look at the after. Before, after. Look at the skin. Look at the shoulder. That's so much better, really. The only thing that would be nice to do with her a little bit is maybe just add a little bit more highlight to her hair. Okay, so I'm going to grab the lightening tool. And I'm going to just add a little bit of exposure. And I'm just going to paint that in there. Use the O key. And I'm just going to paint that into like just certain areas that already have like a little bit of, you know, shimmer to them already. And just give her a little bit more. Bring this down a little bit. That down over there. Just something like that. And we'll just take a little look at that. Get rid of the overlay. Okay, that's maybe a little bit too much. So let's just bring this down just a little bit. Just to give it just a little bit extra, somewhere out there, and I'm going to add a little bit of sharpness to it. Okay, I'm going to close that out, hitting the K tool, and again, the before and the after. That is really, really super nice. I would say that that's probably it for my color edit. So I'm just going to create a new snapshot, Command N. I'm going to just call it 1. Boom. There we go. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking about doing black and white. I was thinking about doing a black and white for this as well. So I'm going to just hit the V key, and that takes me into the black and white module. And, you know, right out of the gate there, it's looking pretty nice. I'm going to bring the color temperature just down a little bit over to here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And let's now look at the highlights. You know, maybe we want to add some more highlights there. Wow, that is super cool. Man, that is really nice. I love this new feature here. It's really robust. It's really powerful. Let's see what happens with the shadow detail. No. We can even go for a little bit more drama. There we go. Whites. Wow. So super cool. Something around there. Just going to keep messing with this. There's a little bit of lag, I must say. But not too bad. And blacks. Definitely go for more drama here. Ooh, yeah. That is super cool. You know, interesting. I guess rather than just that fill and recovery, this palette has definitely been expanded a little bit further. Just going to reduce the clarity just a touch like that. And let's just check our exposure. You know, that's pretty good. We just bump that up just a hair, somewhere around there. Wow, look at the before and the after. My God, what a difference. You know, you can take a pretty girl and even take it a lot further. You know, this kind of earring thing bothers me. It's a little bit too hot. You know, that's something that I would definitely want to spend some time with. I mean, we can try that right now. we'll just go into the exposure. We'll just bring that down. We'll just paint right over there. Just see what happens, you know, when we kind of darken this thing. Because it's a little bit hot and a little bit distracting. It's just, unfortunately, it was picking up the light and reflecting it really, really well. Okay, let's close out of that. Yeah, I mean, it's a little better. You know, we can get back into that. Let's see, we'll go into there. And we'll just bring the exposure down even further. You know, because we don't want it to look contrived. You know, that's the one thing. You know, you want to see an image that's been edited, but you don't want it to look like it's been edited or overly processed, you know, in that respect. All right, so I'm probably going to stop there with my black and white edit. I mean, we could add some toning. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's actually really nice. You know, let me just undo that really quick. Yeah, the toning, you know, I have to say, it really just kind of adds a nice depth to it. I'm really kind of drawn to it quite a bit. So let's go with that. Okay, there it is. So that's going to be my black and white edit. That's going to be snapshot number 2. So we've got snapshot 1, the color edit. Snapshot 2, black and white edit. And wow, man, that color edit is looking really, really super, super warm. Let me just bring the color down on that one bit. Just going to bring the temperature down just a little touch over there. Somewhere around there. Yep, I think I'm going to keep that. I'm going to make that snapshot 3. That's probably going to be my final color edit, because let's look at number 1. A little bit yellowy for my taste. That one's a little bit nicer, a little bit more realistic. You see more of the redness coming out in their cheek, which is nice. So that's going to be my color edit. That's going to be my black and white edit, and let's go off and see what Jared's got.
Here we are, we're back. We've got Adam Lerner in the bottom right corner. I am in the left corner, as always, and we've got 4 edits up here. Starting from left to right, my black and white, my color, Adam's black and white, and Adam's color. Adam, what's
Jared,
up?
how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. So this week I edited my my edit in Lightroom 4.
You did. I mentioned that to everybody that I was in Vegas, didn't have a chance to download it, so I stuck with it in Lightroom 3 in the meantime.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, interesting. I think your black and white is really, really nice. I think it's got like a really kind of high fashion look to it. I think by blowing out the highlights, you know, it really corrected a lot of the kind of textures in her skin that I found to be a little bit too noticeable.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think your black and white's solid. I think the color is cool, a little pinkish for me, and the background kind of went blue. I don't know if that's something that you intended.
I pulled out the yellow. It seemed like for once that there was way too much yellow for my liking, so I decided to pull it out. And I liked the feel of the coolness. It gave the background an interesting color. And I also talked, actually, if you notice, there's a crop in there.
Oh, I was going to just mention that. I have to say, after seeing yours, I kind of wish that I'd cropped mine just above the crimp in the bra strap.
Oh, that's not why I cropped it, but
no, but I'm just saying, like, that really makes a lot of sense. I mean, it just brings the image a lot tighter, a lot closer, and I don't know. That crop makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and I talked about the composition and why I cropped it in that case, and I also said I probably would have taken out the bra strap if I was going to spend more time.
I'd like to see you do that.
I would have taken the bra strap. Oh, funny guy, Adam Beard Lerner. What was that?
Do we have a challenge?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with the black and white.
Yep.
Part of my idea was to go extreme and go high contrast and like major high fashion, blow it out. You know, your black and white has a very classic-y look to it again.
I was just really trying to smooth things out, make it really soft and feminine, you know, just kind of really buttery, and that's what I was going for with that.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, they're totally 2 different edits. And again, that's the cool thing. Plus, you're in Lightroom 4.
Yep.
And I'm in Lightroom 3. And I used a lot of your tips for like the O key for overlay. And I basically, for my color, I used the soften overlay thing and went and did that.
Gotcha.
Now, in terms of your color, I mean, this time I felt like it was way too yellow, and it just needed to pull it back a little bit to make it less yellowy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my first color edit was even more yellowy. I guess it just kind of, from the lighting, it just kind of gave it kind of an amber glow. And I actually, at the end of my session, I pulled back on the color temperature a bit. But even looking at it now, I think I could have pulled back even further. One thing I did notice is that as soon as I pulled back on the color temperature, you saw some of the redness in your cheek, which is very flattering.
Right.
But I certainly feel that I could have pulled it back even a bit further. One thing I also did is I did a gradient filter on her shoulder, and just to kind of reduce some of the light on that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that in my. I didn't even notice the shoulder personally. I went right up to the face.
Right. It was kind of just like a quick little thing. I mean, I think you might have added some vignetting from what I can see as well.
You're correct. I did add some vignetting. I wanted to go down there last and to play with it to see if it did draw you into the image more. And I think it actually benefited it to put in a slight vignette this time.
I have to say, after looking at these, quite a bit, I think the black and whites to me are the most compelling. And I would have to say yours just has that kind of immediacy. It just really pops.
Hey, you know what's interesting, Adam?
Yeah.
Even though I cropped this for the final product, the way that it's shot is perfect for a magazine because it left plenty of space. And keep this in mind, guys, that this is something I learned the hard way. And when you really fill the frame fully for your own shots, that's okay. But when you're doing work for magazines and you're doing work for corporate clients, and you know that it's going to be put into somewhere, it's going to be printed, it's going to be a billboard, you have to leave room for text. You have to leave room for overlays and edits. Now, this photo, before I cropped it, would probably have been a very good cover for a magazine, even after it's cropped, because there's plenty of room for text over her hair. There's plenty of room for just a lot of stuff. So this is, I think, a nice canvas for like a magazine to work with.
Well, the framing here is really interesting because you've got the angle of the tilt of her head, and then you've got the slope of her shoulder that kind of really draws you into the image. So it definitely has a nice editorial feel to it.
Sure.
So yeah, very, very nicely done. And again, you went for the more boomified, blown out, and I went for the more subtle, which is cool. I mean, we stick to our styles here, but I always like seeing what you do here.
And I like seeing what you do. And I'll say it again. I said it during my video that I have to give you props for showing certain things like the overlay with skin softening. It's just stuff that for portraits, with my style of editing, I don't usually, or my style of shooting, I don't do a lot of this type of image, so I don't really go in there and spend too much time with my edits. But this shows me that I should be spending more time with those wedding photos and doing things like this and softening certain things, but keeping other things boomified. So really, it just comes down to taking the time to spend with each image, and that's why we shoot raw, so we can do that.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, if this were, let's say, an editorial shot, I think that there would probably be a lot of refined editing going on. I think that the little kind of wisps of hair around her neck and on her chin and that earring that's dangling down, I think, you'd probably want to fix those. Obviously, the strap, you'd want to take out the kind of the overexposed earring, but as far as an image, to be used for editorial, like the raw material is really there. I mean, this is very strong.
Yep.
And this is, when you showed me these, this one just completely popped.
Yep. Cool. All right. So that is the raw edit of the week number 59. We'll be back on Tuesday, because that's when the raw files come out, with the raw edit of the week number 60. Don't know what file we are going to choose yet, but if you want to send in some files, you can send them to froknowsphoto@gmail.com. Make sure it is your raw file and your high-res JPEG export so that we can put them next to Adam and my edits at the end of the week. So Adam, nice job as always.
Likewise. Thank you.
And we will see you all on Tuesday for another raw edit of the week, brought to you by Alan's Camera. Jared Poland, froknowsphoto.com. See ya.